West Kingston war rages on. 11 shot, 5 dead. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. We're going to start in the United States. At least 3 people were killed and 4 others were wounded in a shooting in California area early on Saturday morning. Sergeant Frank Mercado of the Los Angeles Police Department confirmed the shooting happened just after 2:30 in the morning in Beverly Crest, an upscale Los Angeles neighborhood. Of the 7 people who were shot, 4 were standing outside. The other 3 were killed were in a vehicle. And this is the 4th mass shooting in California in 7 days. The beating of a death of a man by police is getting a lot of traction on every major network in the world. And it was really disgusting to see a part of the video snippets showing how vicious the police were to this man. Kicking him, shocking him with taser, and pepper spray were used as if he was an animal. They shock him over and over with the taser looking like one of those for 5,000 volts. And as to the pepper spray, they sprayed him over and over. One policeman got himself sprayed as well. You could hear him in the video breathing and gasping for air. So just think of what the poor man was going through. I couldn't watch more than about 3 minutes of it. I would not want to experience this, and I would not wish this on anyone. In Jamaica, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has declared that freeness and deadlift mentality is creating problems for the country relative to the outcome of some family disputes. Chuck made the declaration while condemning family members who get into conflicts with each other over money or possessions that they did not earn. At a dispute resolution function at Church Teachers College in Mandeville, Manchester last Friday, head of the parish police superintendent Shane McCullough outlined such a case involving a family dispute over deadlift, which he said resulted in a man allegedly killing his own brother. The incident he was referring to was the January 19 murder of 48-year-old Michael Brown, who was visiting Jamaica from Miketown in Manchester in the UK for his mother's funeral. He was shot dead by a lone gunman at the premises days after the funeral, and his 38-year-old brother Lemore Brown was arrested and subsequently charged relative to that killing. The disclosure of the incident by the Manchester top cop prompted Chuck to make the pronouncement that deadlift is creating problems. The security forces seized 22 guns at a warehouse at Freeport in Montego Bay on Friday. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang told journalists late on Friday that the find included 21 Glock pistol and a 38 Cobra. A quantity of ammunition was also seized. Guns and ammunition continue to be sent by criminal elements in the US and Canada to Jamaica to kill off their own people. They're over here in the US living good. They can go to store without being robbed. They can go to dance and enjoy themselves any time of night and don't have to look over their shoulder. But they send weapons down to put fear and misery on their fellow Jamaicans. Sometimes the same gun that they send is the same gun that kill their family members. Why may I tell them people are disgusting for true. 22 guns. A man was shot dead by unknown assailants at his friend's house in Betheltown in Westmoreland on Saturday night. The deceased has been identified as 20-year-old Roger Pennant, otherwise called Ricey. Pennant is said to have been visiting from St. Anne. And reports from the Betheltown police are that about 9 p.m., Pennant was at a friend's house when armed men attacked, open gunfire hitting him several times in the upper body. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Pennant was transported to hospital where he was pronounced dead. And he's the 3rd person to be murdered in the Betheltown Police Division since the start of the year. Meanwhile, the police said 5 persons were shot, 2 men were killed following a shooting along West Street in Kingston on Saturday. And during the busy market day with enough people on the street, whole lot of shots were fired according to a blogger who called it knockings and clappings. And those killed have been identified as 44-year-old Rodney Robinson and 31-year-old Terence Forsyth of Charles Street in Kingston. 3 other persons are said to have received gunshot wounds in that incident. And it was reported that about 4:55 in the afternoon, gunmen approached a group of men and fired several shots. And it's understood that several persons received gunshot wounds. Robinson died on the spot while Forsyth died while receiving treatment at hospital. And there is an ongoing gang war going on in West Kingston between men from Tivoli and men from Denham Town. Every day they go at each other, but we hardly get any reports. I wonder if maybe it might be government controlled. Because approximately 4 hours after that shooting, the war moved to Hannatown in the Upper Oxford Street area where heavily artillery were heard. and it was so heavy that it got the attention of some soldiers who were on patrol. When the soldiers got there, it is said that the men with high-powered rifles opened fire on the soldiers. The soldiers took cover, returned fire, but the men ran and managed to escape. Then it is said that 1 hour later in the Regent Street and the Beeson Street in the same area, 6 more persons were shot, with 2 more ended up dead. Police said when they got to the spot where this third incident took place, there were so much spent shells they almost slip and slide as the street was covered with bullets. And in that day's body count, it was 11 shot, 5 dead. And these gunmen have to be financed by someone who have a lot of money, because these guns are not cheap, neither are the bullets. Who is supplying them with so much gunshots? And this war has been going on in West Kingston now for about 40 years, and it seems it's going to continue for another 40. On to sports, former collegiate coach and Jamaica Olympian Davian Clark says that the new NCAA changes could see more Jamaican athletes entering the U.S. collegiate system. As of this month, standardized test scores are not required anymore for athletes who initially enrolled full-time on or after August 1st of this year. And during the 2023 NCAA convention, Division 1 and 2 adopted legislation to remove standardized test scores for these student athletes. Clark, who was a coach in the system up to last year, sees it as a promising sign for Jamaican track and field athletes to enter the United States. Meanwhile, with a time of 53.11, Sharika Jackson won the women's 400 meters race on Saturday in the Queen's Grace Jackson meet held at the National Stadium. Jackson mentioned that she was pretty happy with her first outing of the season. She said that neither she nor her coach Stephen Francis are under any pressure to duplicate last year's achievement for this year. Odesha Nathan was second with 55.37, while Christine Sheck finished third in time of 55.78. And Elaine Thompson-Hira, the two-time Olympic sprint winner, she started her season at the competition by winning the 60-meter race in 7.15 seconds. Thompson-Hira, who has a best time of 7.02 seconds, claimed that the delay at the start of the race prevented her from running much faster. Onto football, Reggae Youths overcame a first-leg deficit to defeat Cambridge FC 2-0, and Flankers defeated Granville United by the same score in their respective second-leg semi-final match at the St. James FA League on Thursday. Reggae Youths crushed Cambridge FC at the UDC Field as they won 4-3 overall, despite losing 3-2 in the first leg last Sunday at the same location. Cambridge FC played the whole second half with only 10 men. And after winning the first leg 2-1 at the Sam Sharp Teachers College on Saturday, Flanker defeated Granville United for the fourth time this season at Flankers, bringing their overall score to 4-1. And the finals between Reggae Youths and Flanker will be held on February 4th. On to Premier League, Chapelton Maroons and Dunbeholden played to a 0-0 all draw last night, while Vere United edged Falkland 1-0. Tivoli clapped Montego Bay United 3-0, while Portmore and Waterhouse drew 1-1. Mount Pleasant ended up edging Humber Lions 1-0 to extend their leadership over Cavaliers. Mount Pleasant now have 27 points after getting 3 points off Chapelton Maroons, who did not return up last week to play, while Cavaliers are at a distant second with 22 points. And that's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a wonderful day. I gone.